lifestyle won't stop hustling. But I just
Snowfall, Season 5, Episode 6, titled The Iliad, Part 2. Let's talk about it. Good episode. Good follow-up to last week's episode, which I thought was more than likely the best episode of the season. Listen, let me give a proper introduction to myself. Listen, I go by the name of the Black Abstract. If you're new to the channel, new to music, been under a rock, listen, I'm probably the most flyest, most handsomest, and probably create the best content on YouTube. So if you're new, I like to say what up to you. If you're a returning subscriber like Alexis Brooks, I want to say salute. Appreciate you. Stop being selfish too, Anyway, let's talk about it. So this episode picked up where last week's episode left off, where we see Franklin and also trapped inside a cage with a tiger next door. So I'm like, oh man, how the hell they gonna get out of this? So naturally, I thought, maybe Jerome and Leon probably will come to the rescue somehow, which kind of been a little cheesy because this is like, this is a big place. How you gonna find us there? But that didn't happen. It happened with the smarts of Oso. He put his belt around the cage, which got it stuck. So when the guy was trying to raise it so the tiger could eat Gustavo and Franklin, it got jammed. So the guy was like, "You think I'm going in there?" And he didn't go in there. He actually wound up getting a ladder. And when he climbed on top, also jumped on top of the gate, I guess, to kind of wedge the guy or get him stuck in there. And soon his leg went there, man, that tiger went straight for that fucking leg, and that thing was clean gone. I said, "Ooh, I know that hurt, boy." But that's what he get. Once that happened, the key fell. Franklin and also argue about getting it. He's like, "Yo, won't you get the key? Like, you get the key." And listen, I enjoyed the kind of buddy cop, for lack of better terms, situation between Franklin and Oso. I don't think we've seen these two in this capacity having this much screen time. And if I'm mistaken, you can correct me, but I don't think we've seen them together in this type of environment, close range like this, in this type of situation before. But listen, man, they got out of it. So they get loose. Of course, they running around. And Franklin said what I told my fiance last week. I said, listen, if that was me, the first thing I would have did, I would have just jacked the car. Like, that's known to happen in L.A. I would have just robbed somebody's car, like, from the jump. I don't know why they didn't do that. But anyway, they they wind up trying to look for somewhere else. We see Louis still calling Franklin, and it cuts to them. So we see that Leon and Jerome are tasked with getting Black Diamond and why do I always forget the other girl's name? The two girls, Black Diamond and Peaches. No, not Peaches. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So they're tasked with getting them, and they wind up finding them, bringing them in, and they don't think it's them. They like, listen, it's not us. If that was us, why would we just be hanging around? We would have went straight for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would have knew what to do. Peaches is still MIA. Nobody can find Peaches. So I'm like, oh boy, what's going on? Because we fuck with D-Ray Davis over here. And Jerome's even champion for it. Like, nah, Peaches wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do nothing like this. It's not him. You know what I'm saying? So they're tasked with that. Once they get them over, Franklin did give Jerome a location or area where they were. So he's like, listen, all right, we're just going to go see where he is over here. And, sure enough, they head out. And like I said, Louis is still paging Franklin, so he's getting these pages. So they finally did. So back to Oso and Franklin, they finally decide to carjack somebody. And then when they go to carjack somebody, it's the guys that was looking for them, and they outnumber, and they got real guns that's loaded. Franklin got a gun that's real, but it's not loaded. So they wanted to get captured again. And I was like, oh my goodness, are you serious? I'm like, they just got loose. They get captured again. And no, I didn't say serious. She thought I said serious. I said serious. My watch. But Yeah, so they wind up getting captured again, and I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Like I said, and then back at the bar, Jerome and like I said, Leon are tasked with finding Franklin, and they go on a drive over there, and like Louis like, listen, stick together, don't split up, blah blah blah, just for their own safety. Uh, so they wind up getting tied up, they getting tortured and shit, or punched. Not really tortured, just kind of punched around, slapped around a little bit. And they was handling it so beautifully. Like, I think some food came in and Franklin was like, yo, so what were we talking about? I'm like, yo, this shit funny as hell. And I'm like, this also was just like, yo, just give them the money. But I'm like, yo, you give them that bread, they gonna pop your ass. Like, point blank, period. These motherfuckers ain't got no mask on. So, what French Montana say? If they mask up, they coming for your ice. If they bare face, they coming for your life. That was one of the rawest bars that dude ever said. French got a lot of gems like that too out there in the universe. Shout out to French Montana. Anyway, they come up with the idea. They talking about what they should do. Gustavo's like, yo, just tell them where it is. Franklin's like, nah, like we gonna get killed if I tell them what it is, and they gonna have almost $3 million in money. So he like, nah, I'm not doing that. So he decides to take them to the house. He's like, yo, I know it's at a house, yada yada yada, but I gotta show you where it's at. So they leave Oso there, and Franklin goes back. And Franklin's a smart motherfucker. So I'm like, yo, I know he going to this tiger house. He's going to the Tiger King house. And let me say, for that guy this morning who got in that cage and died, got his own leg bit off from his own tiger, Joe Exotic would be so frowning upon you right now. Like that, I don't understand. But anyway, somebody said that was like a thing in the 80s too. A lot of people had exotic animals just as pets. So I don't think that was kind of like a rare point for that particular in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was just like, why they got tired? This is unrealistic. And I'm like, yeah, you never know, man. It's probably more realistic than what you think. I actually heard it was somebody in the 80s in Cali that was known for having like these exotic animals. So maybe that's who that guy portrayed or somebody like that. We don't know. But so he brings the guy to the yard and he's like, yo, the shit's over there. He's looking for the tiger. The tiger's out the cage, but it's blood everywhere. And they see the guy's body up top. Franklin just don't know where this unpredictable ass animal is. And then the tiger just winds up getting one of the henchmen. Then fucking the guy goes to help his man, and then Franklin just hits him in the back hard as hell. Takes his gun. Goes out there, take Lil Man's gun, a little fucking fuck up that we didn't like last week. And he's like, yo, y'all some old ass fools. Don't even know how to cuss right. Y'all running like some old ass fools. I'm like, yo, this dude can't even swear right. Anyway, so he winds up getting the car. He winds up getting a kid. And then they cuss to Louis, and Louis says that she had contact with Franklin. So I'm like, okay, he must have talked to her. Sure enough, he did. So he's waiting on Jerome and Leon. And they're just like, yo, nigga, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. And we see he put the little boy in the trunk and shit. He ain't even knock him off. And he did that with a lot of the other men too. He's like, yo, they was gonna knock him off. He was like, yo, today your lucky day. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't trying to draw no attention on nobodies or nothing. They just like, man, just let me get my bread, and let me be on my merry way. This is something that comes with the game. It is what it is. So they walk in there and Gustavo's like fucking thrilled, man. He's like happy as hell. And the way they did it was so sweet too. Franklin walk in and then you just see Jerome hit that motherfucker hard as hell and knock his ass out, man. I was like, yeah. Yeah. And they decided to leave. Back at the bar, they're all trying to regroup, trying to figure out what's going on. We see an interesting conversation between Sissy and Veronique about this lifestyle, and she was just like, listen, it was something I told you back there, about how, I forget exactly what she said, but she was just like, yo, that incident earlier it's probably, it might have been the first for you, but she said, I can reassure you it's not going to be the last. You know what I'm saying? So she was just like, yo, just take your kid and go until he decided he don't want to do this shit no more. She like, yo, just go, like get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to see what the interaction between her and Sissy will be. You know what I'm saying? Because uh, that's his mom, and then she has a lot of traits of his mom. You know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to see like what their interaction would be. You know what I'm saying? I think at the end of the day, they both love Franklin down to his core. They accept him for who he is, flaws and all. Yeah, so they're still trying to blame it on Peaches, Diamond, and the other girl. They're like, yo, where Peaches at? And Franklin's like, listen, hold on. First of all, Gustavo was super happy. He's like trying to take shots. Franklin's like, nah. Franklin's thinking. You know what I'm saying? Franklin's trying to get down to the bottom of this. But we see Gustavo's girl come in and smack him up. Talking about, yo, I thought you was dead. Leaving me with all these damn kids and whatnot. I'm like, oh boy. But yo, they bond. If they bond level was on a 2, prior to the events that took place, when they ended this shit, they shit was on a good like 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they really like bonded or got their shit together. So I thought that was pretty dope. Franklin's like, listen, if it's another spot I gotta hit, it's only one other person that know about this spot, and that was the spot we saw in the other episode where Peaches was standing there and he was just like, man, I don't never get tired of looking at this. And it was just like fucking shit piles of money. So all that's gone. I think he said it was $5 million in there. I'm like, damn. And all that's gone. So I don't know what's going on, man. I can't believe Peaches would do this. You know what I'm saying? I thought for sure this wouldn't be Peaches. Like, I knew for sure. I'm like, no, it got to be somebody else, and it's gonna be hard, man. I fucks with Peaches, but it is what it is. We see that that young with the current climate of things, as far as just like even like with the essay shit, like, you know what I'm saying, like it's just like it's like a never ending cycle that's going on. But anyway, I'm going off a tangent. We see that once they seen that Peaches was hit, and they said, listen, we got some guys on Peaches' house. We watching them. So they trying to figure out exactly like where Peaches is. He ain't popping up. I'm like, man, Peaches got that monster. We see old girl still taking care of Reed. She mopping the blood up. Reed is having nightmares and shit. She's sedating them with something. And just nursing them back to health. I don't know what she did with all that product yet. But we'll figure it out, man. But listen, when I found out, I got to go back to Peaches. When I found out it was Peaches, that hurt my heart, man. I was just like, shh. So they running down a list of suspects. They like, yo, we need to figure out who did this. So they're running down a list of people. We see that they got one person in mind, and it's, yo, I don't know if you guys seen the poll. If you follow my channel, I did a poll about who it was, and it was Sissy. There's people Sissy hired for Reed. It was Kevin's brother, who was Franklin's friend in the first season, who had an untimely demise because he was about to go make a crazy error. So Franklin had to kind of put the gun to that one. So I don't even know how his name got rang in that situation, as far as him doing it. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what he went to jail for, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken 100%. But I remember he beat the murderer, and people was just like, how the fuck you beat the murderer? But some strings got pulled from the CIA. But yeah, so Kevin's brother, who, they didn't really have talk about it, but we got a full introduction of who he was. And this motherfucker's a menacing motherfucker. He give me like man boy vibes too. But who else was it? It was Frank. It was Kevin's brother, Sissy's people, Peaches, Franklin's girl, Veronique, and who else? It was somebody else. I'm sorry. the fucking everybody said Kevin's brother for the most part. He got the highest percentage of votes. So shout out to everybody that voted. I appreciate you. And also we seen that we see that was the case, that it really was Kevin's brother. So they narrow it down because somebody figured out he had got out of jail a couple of weeks ago. And they like, yo, why you ain't come see us? And he like, yo, what I'm gonna come see y'all for? And he break it down, and he pretty much out there. He comfortable. He got a team behind him. He got motherfuckers riding for him. As him and Leon are approaching to talk to this guy, they're getting do like, yo, watch your step, or watch the ball, or whatever he was saying. I'm like, damn, homie, it's like that. And they finally having a conversation. At first, when they first initially started talking, I'm like, nah, I don't think this dude did it. I was like, it's his demeanor is like, nah, he didn't do it. He's at a little league football game, so I'm like, nah, I don't think this ain't more so his vibe. So I'm like, yo, so I didn't know, but sure enough, as the conversation progressed, it was. And you see some hurt in there too, man. As he's explaining what happened with Kev, you see some hurt in there. And he's just like, and he brought up his cousin, because that's why Kevin went off the deep end anyways, because his cousin got stabbed being in I believe like Spanish territory that he wasn't supposed to be in. And they was like, yo, we can move in and we can infringe. There ain't nobody here. And I think Franklin told him don't stay there. And sure enough, they didn't listen. But I believe two or not. I think maybe just one of them got killed. Malcolm took that to heart because Franklin didn't retaliate back. And I think that's because he was trying to follow. He was trying to do something at the time. But anyway, so he's thinking, he's talking to him, and Franklin's like, listen, man, we could have wiped your people out, but we trying to figure out how to make this right. You know what I'm saying? But man, they got down to the bottom of it quick. I thought we was gonna have to wait. And this goofy ass dude. I'm like, this is the dude behind all this shit. How did he know? But come to find out, he turned Peaches, and he got the information about I guess all the drops and where they meet up, because that's Peaches is the only one that really knew that shit like hand by hand, verbatim. So they turned Peaches, and then I'm looking at how dude got it set up. It's like so much nicer than how other people had this shit set up. So I'm like, man, this shit crazy. But anyway, listen, as you can tell, I'm tired. I'm kind of rambling a little bit. But anyway, it was they also alluded to that this possibly could be Ronique, because when Franklin finally gets home, we see that there's a letter for him, and I'm like, oh, let me find out her and Peaches was in on it. But she took what Sissy said to heart, and she she kind of made a break for it, because it been a rough day for her. She got shot at. Now she got to worry about what's going on with Franklin, and she got to do this every day, holding a child. So it could be, it could take a toll on her and the baby. So she like, I just need to separate myself from this. I'll see you at work. Yada yada yada. My only qualm is this: she stays somewhere safe, especially like a high rise or something, because it'll be less easier for people to get her. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when we finally do meet up behind who's all the shootings and whatnot. It's crazy. And listen, Franklin goes to talk to Avi about, Veronica, like her shipping and her leaving. And Avi as always gives him some solid ass advice and tells him to do whatever he wants to it. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, that's pretty dope. I'm trying to think of what else happened. Let me take a look. So, what y'all think about FX's the show tomorrow, Donald Glover's show? What is Atlanta? What do I think about Atlanta being back on tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, the real is back. So be doing videos on that as well. The more content to merrier. Anyway, so we see that was pretty much what was going on. who's responsible for this is it is Kevin's brother. So anybody that said that, give a round of applause to yourself. It was Kevin, Kevin's brother Kane. That was his name. And the dude looked menacing, man. He a goofy little dude, but he was talking some big boy shit. Like, man, yeah, y'all could get me, but the only difference is I ain't high. And I'm like, oh, he want all the smoke. He want all the smoke. Y'all better give it to him. So we see next episode they going to war. Yeah, and listen, with the whole Veronique thing or whatever her name is, I was kind of upset at first because I thought she played Franklin, and I'm like, well, they just did that storyline last season. Why would they have a female kind of playing him and leaving? But she just like, listen, I don't. She didn't leave him. She just was like, yo, we're gonna coexist. We go to work together. She ain't turning down that grant and shit. And then they'll go to appointments and shit together. But as far as just being together, it's a wrap on that. So I'm like, damn. All in all, great episode, man. I thought it was decent. You know what I'm saying? I like these buddy cop. That's why I keep saying it, but that's just what I'm referring to. But I like these little self-contained stories. You know what I'm saying? It's not too much going on. Other than that, post your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything I left out I didn't talk about. Hey, man, I had to breeze through. I'm a little tired, man. It's been a long day for me, so I'll try to edit this the best I can when I was rambling. But like I said, post your comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If there's anything I left out, let's talk about it in the comments below. Yeah, man, it's on for the same crew, man. Listen, it's time to start flexing that muscle. All right, till next time, y'all. Peace.